Hey, what's up? Hey, y'all, what is up? I am going on a journey today, and I'm going to take y'all with me for a couple of minutes. I wanted to talk about something that is, kind of interesting. When people comment on my videos all the time, or they send me mail, they send me direct messages, or they post in my comment section, they always say the same number of things. They'll say, oh, I don't always agree with you, but, right? They'll say that first. Or they'll say something along the lines of, Soncerae, you redeeming yourself and, from you being homeless and you having a checkered past. They'll start talking about my past as well. Like my past was like this horrible, thing that I committed and should be extremely ashamed of. And so it's interesting to me that when my past comes into question, everyone seems to have suddenly forgot their own, right? People come into my comment section and they say, your past is so checkered. And I'm thinking to myself, I was never a prostitute. I was never a stripper. I never murdered anybody. I never stole anything. I never, did anything incriminating. I didn't go to jail. I don't have a criminal record. I mean, I'm like a really good person, genuinely. So what was it that I done in my past that was so bad that everybody turned their nose up at? And the only things that you could possibly know as someone inside of my audience as what I've done in my past is if you've heard me talk about it on my channel. So people say that too. They say the videos that you made on your own channel, the things that you said about yourself, people are angry. Oh, you're angry at me for telling the truth? So people are mad at me for being honest about mistakes I made and things I did in my past that I told the truth about. That's interesting to me because 80% of people that pass so much judgment on me wouldn't even dare be able to tell the truth about themselves. And the one thing about me that people seem to think is so bad is that, number one, I worked at a swingers club. And a lot of people call me a swinger, but I was never a swinger because swingers are married people. So I was never a swinger. That's number one. Okay? Number two, they say, oh, you had a threesome with a married man. Like it's this big thing, like I betrayed somebody's trust when I was the single one. I had nobody to lie to. I had nobody to trick. I didn't sneak around and, do anything ugly or, crazy towards anyone's girlfriend or wife, To me, it's like, wherever I stood at in my past, that's what I needed to learn in my own journey to grow. And I'm not going to apologize for living or ask permission for living or seek validation from a whole bunch of people I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so many other things that other people have done that are much worse than me having an affair with a married man. Having an affair with a married man is so normal. This is something that's happening in a lot of marriages, most marriages. And if you haven't found out it's happening in your own marriage, 9 times out of 10, you just ain't found out yet. So it's happening with a lot of people. A lot of people have weak moments. A lot of people just go through this. This is not something new. It's plenty of women out there who have experienced what I had. It's plenty of husbands out there that have decided to be cheating assholes and lie. So I'm not sharing any new information, some new age shit. What I'm saying is during a stage in my life, many years ago, I was going through something terrible and I had an affair with a married man to get me over the hump. Okay, it was never, I'm trying to steal someone's husband and all of this foolishness, assumptions that people make when they're trying to be extremely judgmental in regards to another human being. We all have done things in our past that we're not necessarily happy we've done, or we're not praising what we've done. Had I kept the stuff to myself and then someone else told the stories about me, then it could be, oh, we exposed Soncerae, shame on Soncerae because she lied about her past, she didn't tell the truth. Then I could see y'all being like, okay, this woman hasn't changed, she's lying now, you know, things like that. But I told the truth about how I grew and how I went through this journey and what I experienced and how I've changed as a woman, and my beliefs, my personal like exercises that created me into being this stronger woman. And for some reason, I'm still being punished for something that happened 10 years ago, something that I was honest about. Not that I lied about it and then someone exposed me, but me actually telling the truth about it. That says a lot about people and their own shit. Like, a lot of people would never have been able to admit some shit like that. You know what I mean? No one would have been able to admit majority of the stuff that they do. It's still people out here trying to say, "Nuh-uh, I ain't do such and such," and it's so much proof that this person committed this crime or told this lie or whatever. You know, everyone has some things in their past that they're not happy about. But the reason why I shared my story is so people can understand it doesn't define you. It doesn't mean it's who you are forever. It doesn't mean you don't deserve another chance. It doesn't mean that you are scarred or should wear a scarlet letter for the rest of your life. It doesn't mean all of these things, all of this weight that other people try to put on you to make you feel bad about yourself. You know, that's not what your past is. We all have one. We all have things that we experienced and poor decisions that we made. And because I'm so honest about my poor decisions, it doesn't mean that you can come into my email account or DM me and say, "Hey, you know, Soncerae, you're redeeming yourself." Redeeming myself for who? Like, like for who? Like, who matters at the end of the day that I need to redeem myself for? Nobody, really, because the only people that I kind of answer to is really no one. I got a relationship with God. You know, I don't have to redeem myself with God because God understands my journey. God put me through whatever I'm going through in order for me to learn my lesson and go through the journey. So I don't have to redeem myself to God. You know, what other people think of me will never be something I can control. So I can't redeem myself with them if people choose to love me or care for me or something like that. It'll be a choice that they made. I don't have to redeem myself for some people. So when someone said that to me, because they just said it to me in my Instagram, and I really got love for this guy. This is one of my favorite conversations that I've had with someone who has watched me on YouTube. So he hit me up in my Instagram and he said to me, you know, that he had heard some things about me on YouTube, like these people were saying some bad things about me, and he loves my videos and he watched my videos and he just wanted to send me like this positive message. And I said, cool, you know, thank you for the positive word. And he said, it's good that you're redeeming yourself. And so not completely understanding what he's talking about. I'm like, okay, but redeem myself from what? And he's like, don't get offended, you know. I'm just saying, from homelessness, you know, stuff like that, the stuff that you went through. And I said, well, I'm not offended. I just want to completely understand like what you mean when you say redeem. And so he really came off as a really like nice person. And so I said to him, so what else do you think I need to redeem myself for? And he's like, I don't know your real life. Like, I only got inspired by a piece of your journey. I said, you know what? You good with me from now on, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Because you get it. You took from my story what you was supposed to take from it. You wasn't supposed to take it personal, make fun of me, you know, do all of this crazy stuff, be online talking about me every day, dragging me on through filth and everything like most people do that don't want to face their own demons and their own issues. You know, a lot of people are lazy. They don't look at their own lives and take the time to improve. So when they see someone who is doing better than them, just to make themselves feel better, they use another human being to lift them up. I remember saying to my mother when she was telling me that people were jealous of me, right? And I will never be able to understand the concept of jealousy because I never felt it. I don't know anything about that. I think I I don't know, I might have looked at someone and been like, wow, like I can't believe they have X, Y, and Z, but never to a point where I felt like I couldn't go out there and get it myself, or the fact, or it never put me in a position to where I would sit still in my own disappointment, or and be mad and never go out there and get what it is that I want, and instead focusing my energy on someone else. I've never been that type of person. So it never occurred to me that jealousy was so real until me and my mother would sit down and have this conversation with me, because my mother has said I'm jealous, people are jealous of me before. Like, she said that to me. She's been saying that to me since I was in like high school, because I would tell her stuff that would happen to me in high school, and she would say stuff like that then. She would say such and such is jealous of you and blah blah blah, and I would never understand it, because I was like, how could somebody be jealous of me? Because just like how I have things I deal with every day, that are hard for me, everybody else does as well. And any level of success I can reach, another human being can reach their own level of success. I just don't believe in limitation and shortage. And I believe that there is more than enough money and resources for everybody to live an amazing life. So it's no reason to feel some type of way about somebody else's life. There's no reason to be envious, right? So my mother was talking to me recently, and we were just talking about things that people said about me all of the time. And of course, when people talk about me so much, when it comes back to me and the people that I'm talking to will end up having a conversation about why people are saying what they're saying. So we sit down and we dissect what we heard or what we saw. And at the end of the day, there's still never any justification for why people have spoken about me in such an extreme manner. You know what I mean? So my mom and my friends and just people who support me, when they come to me and we sit down and we powwow about it, they're just like, I don't understand. And I'm like, well, I don't understand it either. And even when you guys come to me and say, these people are jealous, I will never be able to understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I can't wrap my mind around it. And so I understand that people aren't in the same place I am intellectually. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I can't wrap my mind around it doesn't mean another human being can't justify their negativity or why they feel the way that they feel about me. See, here's the thing. When someone has an opinion about you, all right, it is relative to their experiences, their insecurities, what they feel and what they think, their opinion about you, not necessarily the truth about who you are, because no one really knows enough information about you to make sound judgment. And the man that came into my Instagram and said to me, honey, I don't really know you to tell you what else you need to redeem, or how else to redeem yourself, because I don't really know your life. I just saw an ounce of your damn journey and was inspired. That's all everybody sees. You only see a drop of my life. Like, when I come onto my social media platforms and I talk about my life, I talk about a very small portion of it. Like, it's a drop in an ocean full of things. So, when people try to judge me from a story I told about something that happened to me 10 years ago, and they tried to make this one drop of water the whole ocean, I can't fathom why they do that. But then again, the only reason why I can't fathom that is because I don't have limited thinking. I'm not thinking inside of a box. I'm not closed-minded, and those people are. So that's why it's hard for me to grasp, why they do it, because I'm just beyond that, to a point where it's just like my mind is so much more open, and I have so much understanding of other people and diversity and culture and how everyone grew up so differently from each other. There's no way in the world I could be in any position to judge another human being for anything that they do out of all of the mistakes I made, and also knowing that most people make mistakes all of the time. Like, most of us made a mistake like last week, whether it was big or small. Some of us made a mistake yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I could never be the person to try to act like I'm so perfect and I haven't done anything wrong. I'm not that person, and I've never been that person, and I'll never be the person that just tries to dog out a whole bunch of people. And, I'm just not that. I can give my opinion, but for the most part, if I haven't experienced you directly, if you haven't harmed me so bad, like you really gotta mess with me on a level to where it's an extraordinary story. Like, it's an unbelievable story. That's the only way I'll share something I've experienced negatively on YouTube. Because when I tell a story on YouTube, right, or online in general, usually the story is so, like, out of this world. Like, I can't believe it happened to me. Like, we all go through negative stuff, but a lot of the times when we go through certain things, we be like, I can't believe this happened to me. Like, this seems so surreal. It seems like it's not even real, and when you are sideswiped by someone you loved or cared for, and they do something so outlandish, that to me is enough for me to tell a story or spread awareness about something, especially if it has something to do with domestic violence or something that I feel like is something that's harmful to my community as a whole, a behavior that I think is so inappropriate for our community that it has been normalized, something that has to do with maybe violence, domestic violence, or abandonment, or single parenthood, or any of the things that I feel so passionately about. Of course, I'll speak about my personal experiences with it and have my opinions about it. That's nothing, you know what I mean? But I'm not just the type of person that's going to do a YouTube video about a person I'm just so mad at. Like, oh, this person made me mad, I'm just going to do a video about them. No, the whole point of doing the video is to spread awareness about certain things that are unbelievable. Like, it has to be crazy. And like the experience with my son's father, that shit was crazy. Like, I ain't never heard no shit like that. Like, no matter how many stories I hear of women who've had experiences, they may have had something similar, but never to the extreme of my situation with my son's father. I still have yet to hear a woman have that same story. Like, it's been similar, maybe at some points, but never like that. So my story is very unique. It is my own, and I share it to help other women, get through their own stuff. Because my shit was tough. Like, to get through what I went through and being homeless and pregnant and now, living as well as I do, it was a process. It took me a while to get there. And I showed you all of me. Well, not even all of me. Let me not say that. Because I don't want to confuse y'all. I've been very transparent. Put it that way. I've been as transparent as I could be without telling my private information. You know what I mean? And I tried to get you guys to see me as I was going through the process of, no longer being homeless. And I thought, just the triumph in that, the victory in that would help a lot of people move forward. And so when people come into my comment section and you guys say, well, I don't always agree with you, that's a good thing. You're not supposed to always agree with me. Like, just because you're watching me on YouTube or you may have some sort of support with me doesn't mean that you have to always agree with everything that I say. You could just like that I'm talking about the topic, or I'm bringing awareness about the topic, or maybe you just like that I'm telling a joke along with it, or anything. You don't have to agree with me to watch me. You understand what I'm saying? Like, people feel like in order to support me, they gotta completely agree with everything that I'm saying. No, my journey is mine. It belongs to me, and the message is for those that it applies to. If it doesn't apply to you, that's good too, because my entire life is not going to always apply to everyone. We're all different. So when people come into my comment section and you say you disagree, or you say people don't like you because of your past, think about that. Like, think about, that's weird. Somebody don't like you because of your past, but they got a past of their own. And if everybody measured every person in this world about what they did in the past, all of us would be fucked in the game, because all of us have done some fucked up shit or made a mistake. We've all done it. None of us are exempt at all. None of us. So if we were all to measure each other about something that happened in the past, we all be messed up. So just factor that in when you look at my videos. I'm not trying to post videos to hurt anybody or harm anybody or anything like that. It's not like that at all. And I appreciate everybody who subscribed to me. I appreciate you being here, and make sure that you send me any video topic suggestions or anything that you have to bring to the table to my channel to help me improve. Please let me know what it is, okay? Have vision and stay focused, y'all. Namaste.